Uh-oh. That wasn't smart. I taught people like Matt Cutler. I have spent the last 2 years traveling the country with this rock crawler here that I'm working on. Y'all's kids ever do that? Selling this place, we've been looking at places in Tennessee, and I'm gonna cut it like a beaver too. I've still considered selling it. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Finally, it is still a mess. If you've been following, you know that this cabin here still has no power thanks to the county. Just a giant mess. There's gonna be more about that in another video. There's some stuff about it in some past videos if you're curious. But it is cold as balls out here and I'm trying to go to Harlan. So I'm gonna turn all that stress off. We're gonna go work on my buggy for a little bit, and there's gonna be a lot of things about what's going on in general in this video. So let's turn some wrenches and stick around. I'm fixing to pull this radiator and fan out because I got a new fan. It's so cold, I'm gonna let this thing warm up, or I'm just gonna wind up splitting radiator hoses, and ain't nobody got time for that. It'll probably be real happy with the throttle body and stuff off. Loose connection in that switch. What you do, buddy? He'll just sniff around in circles out there until he finds it. Sometimes it takes him an hour. I've even thrown it and taken him a couple days. He'll just turn back up with it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. All right, let me throw it. All right, give it to me. See if this thing's a little warm yet. Uh-oh. That wasn't smart. Might, oh yeah, we got a little warmth in there. I got the map sensor off and all that good stuff, so it's never a good idea to push the throttle body, even if all that was hooked up. Yeah. So that knock that you hear, something in torque converter. It's done it as long as I've owned this buggy, and once it warms up, that sound entirely goes away. So if you know what that is, leave a comment. I get this nipple off. Of course, it's seized on there. This is a brand new radiator. If you watch the channel for any length of time, then you know that I was in West Virginia at the Good Evening Ranch when I had to find this radiator. It's a Griffin. I found a good old race car driver, like a dirt track gearhead type guy. Awesome dude. Put a picture of his shop here. I can't remember the name of it. And a link to that video, the thumbnail to that video is here if you want to see that. If you just stumbled here for whatever reason, then I have spent the last 2 years traveling the country with this rock crawler here that I'm working on. On this flatbed in the background, we lived in a camper. Oh, wow, that's what I needed. Oh, ow. Oh, yeah, all the grunty noises. Oh, my knee. I wonder if you can hear that. Listen close here. Oh yeah, your knees ain't supposed to make that noise. I'm not supposed to be in some crazy stripper position off the front of a buggy either.
I can't believe I'm like now like 90 and I still don't weigh a bunch.
Gotta eat more. Me and Elias were just recapping what actually went wrong in what we're working on here. So this fan actually, one of these, this one broke in South Dakota. For whatever reason, I had already bought a set of blades because I broke it, and then so I replaced that one and I had a spare. And then in South Dakota, we were wheeling at the Black Hills and it was getting warm on me. And I didn't know why, but I found out in Thermopolis, Wyoming, later on, that it was actually because this thing had actually broke the fan blades entirely off again. So I only had this one. So I threw that spare on with my buddy Travis there. Hey buddy, hope you're doing good. And then I've been just wheeling it like that. And then I was in Hollywood, and this fan shroud sucked up this gasket material that came off due to my negligence and rushing and not mounting the fan shroud back correctly in some other time I had it apart, and that bit me. So I just bought a whole nother new unit, and then this is a good motor and blade here, so I'll pull that out of this fan shroud, throw it in the truck as a spare, and we should be good to go. Yeah, this thing, see how it doesn't spin very good?
Yeah, but you know how you know is that when it stops, it does this thing where it goes forward and back. Like that. See?
Yeah, well, these is a little worn in now. And see, I engineered the blade tips there a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to do that again. Doing some real scientific measuring here. The previous owner or somebody at some point, whoever done this, kind of notched this out with a beaver here, and this side was done a lot better. And I was going to try and think about, like, can I heat it up with a torch and shape it and French it around and blah blah blah, make it look better. And I thought, why reinvent the wheel, man? This thing fits on here, you know, swap the brackets, and I cut it out. I'm gonna cut it like a beaver too, drop it in there and get another 10 years out of it. So that's what we're gonna do. Probably wondering, why are you cutting that with a handsaw? Well, I don't have power down here. I don't feel like going to get the generator. It's also 30 degrees, 28 degrees out here right now. So this is warming me up so I can put it all back together by the time I cut it out. I could go get a Sawzall, something like that. Now, you cut anything with a Sawzall except a straight line. Ow! Woo!
Did you cut yourself?
No. But I think I am gonna have to suck it up and go get the flat disc.
I almost fell
You're gonna get hurt and fall off this truck. All right, I had zero excuse not to want to go get a generator when I have this wagon contraption behind my zero-turn lawnmower. So I have given in. I'm gonna use the generator here, but we got a little daylight left, and me and Elias are gonna play with some more lawnmower shenanigans and do some wheelies real quick. There's a box man walking around. Gypsy, go get him. Get him. Go get him. I don't believe most rational people take brand new $400 parts out of the box and immediately start cutting them up, but that's what gearhead people do. Whether it's rock crawling or race cars or whatever you're into, you know. We just take a brand new part, cut it up, and make it fit the way we need it to. So I did that proper and got it good and ugly. Now really this will clean up. After that solidifies the rest of the way. Well, that's pretty hard. I'll buzz that off, clean that up, and then I'll tell myself it looks better. So when I bought the new fan shroud, it came with all this like universal mounting hardware. These look familiar. I think that like maybe I had these left over at some point and was like, we don't need those. And that cost me a lot of money and time, so I try not to do that anymore, but I'm probably gonna do it some more. So I added the cross member in here. Get this here convincing stick, convince this thing over just a little bit. At an earlier point for the radiator to rest in instead of be suspended on the ends. You should never hang a radiator from the tanks. So it is supported all the way across, so that changed how things needed to mount. And I basically had this fan shroud just hanging from the top only. So now I'm changing it with these universal brackets to actually be supported at the bottom. So it will then be a package unit like it's supposed to, and hopefully have no more issues. You know, when you just live on the road, everything's a trail fix, right? I'm working on it in campgrounds or I'm wheeling, you know, and we're making a repair as we go or something like that, so I kind of rush and well, you live and you learn is what they say. Yeah, the fact that there was already holes here tells me I didn't put it back together right first time. Whoops. Yeah, we've been going through a lot here on the property. If you follow the channel, you've seen our lives, you know what's going on. We set up our dream tiny cabin, and we made some mistakes along the way. So we have been torn. Are we selling this place? We've been looking at places in Tennessee and just couldn't figure out what we was going to do, but we've prayed about it a bunch. Think that God has provided an answer, and we're going to tell you all about that in an upcoming video. Or maybe, depending on when I release this, you've already heard about it in a video. Possible. So, soon though, in real life, real timing, however you want to look at that, we're going to make a video about our wonderful little cabin that we love so much. Share it with you guys, because then we're getting rid of it. Tell you more about that in another video. For now, we're just trying to get through. You know, Lindsay's having surgery coming up. Endometriosis, got to have a full hysterectomy. So it's going to be a wonderful time. Menopause, all that good stuff. So fellas that are older, if you've already been down that road, I'm going to need you to encourage me below, if you would. Trying to get this hunk of junk together to go to Harlan, because I was prepared to sell it. I've still considered selling it. The wife will not let me sell this buggy. So, fixing it up, and I'm going to get one last trip to Harlan for the year and for a while. And I don't have a single person lined up to go with me. I got some maybes. One of them is John Moore. And I hope that fool makes it. I hope that fool makes it. My son plays around and sounds like he's dying constantly. Like something terrible must have happened. Y'all's kids ever do that? So I'm running out of daylight and it's getting cold. I'm gonna button this up a little bit. Well, it's the next day, and it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm just now getting out of here. Anybody else ever feel like your day couldn't go as planned if your life depended on it? It's pretty much every day for me. But this thing's fully assembled now. I got some antifreeze. We're just gonna drop it back in there and button it up. It won't take that long. I got to pause Sturgill or YouTube will ding me. All right, man. Doing some real fancy fab work over here. I do not have an aluminum cutoff wheel, but if you need more fabrication tips, I taught people like Matt Cutler. You know, this is the kind of stuff like Matt Cutler could eat his heart out. I could probably give wide open design some tips too. But anyways, it wasn't fitting in the cradle down in there, and I was like, oh, it's because I added these tabs. I have to learn everything the hard way. But now this fan shroud will be mounted nice. Hopefully that's going to sit right down in there. We'll get it back in there. Since the next day, the buggy's still not put together. We just got a lot going on. There's always time to play a game after dinner.
I gotta turn around. Which one should I go for? It's so scary everywhere.
Oh, there's a couple over here on my side.
Don't you dare touch it.
I don't know, those are probably carrying some weight as tall as that thing is. Yeah, they're all, oh, it's gonna get real leany. Well, that one's really carrying weight. Oh. Ah.
This is the one, right?
Give it a flick.
Okay.
Yeah. Now wiggle it out of there. One hand. Oh, this is the longest game of this I've ever had. What am I going to pull down? Oh, yeah.
It started off.
Oh. Oh, that was a good one.